You are listening to Blues Horizon, and we have two guests in the studio today. J.A. Smith from the First Coast Blues Society, keeping the blues alive in Northeast Florida, and Danny Delves of the Deadly Nightshades.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Andrew. Thanks for inviting me back.
Oh, anytime.
How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing good. All right. This is first for you, Dan. Talk to me a little bit about how you guys got together.
I, being the president of the First Coast Blues Society, I go to a lot of events around town, and I try to find local blues musicians that want to be involved in our blues society. And I saw Danny perform a couple of times as a guest artist sometimes, and I saw him perform with his band, the Deadly Nightshades. And I approached him last year to be involved in our Blues Challenge, where we choose a local artist to promote and go to Memphis to the International Blues Challenge. Because we're a nonprofit blues society, we can do that every year, and this is our 4th year. So he was gracious enough to be involved in that, and he put on one blistering set, which was noticed by some people in the crowd that put on the beach festivals. And he got himself a main stage slot from his blistering opening of our Blues Challenge, which I'm very happy about.
All right, so you want to answer that blistering.
Blistering.
All right, now that is a tall order. We are going to be playing some of your music.
He set the bar high. He set the bar high at our Blues Challenge.
Well, the Snacks Blues Band won the challenge, and they are an extremely true to form blues band.
Now we'll be talking to them next week.
Yeah, they'll be here next week.
Let's talk about you.
The Deadly Nightshades.
The Deadly Nightshades. I love that name. Okay, what
it's
can people expect?
It's a band that, excuse me, it's a band that's been in existence for a while. I don't want to date myself because radio listeners can't tell how old I am from
right.
from my
voice. This is NPR. You're in a safe zone.
I'm in NPR.
Yeah.
Smile at the camera.
Yeah.
Now, when we first started the Deadly Nightshades, it was a 6-piece band. There was a saxophone player named Danny Bauerkemper. Hey, Danny, if you're listening. There was a trumpet player named Chris Norton, who's now, I believe, in Los Angeles. He was in New York for quite a while with his own act, fronting a band and playing trumpet, big band type stuff. And the bass player, his name was Lance McGough, and the drummer was Billy Roden, who died in 2017, I believe it was.
Well, the blues means a lot of things to a lot of people. When you guys play...
What the Deadly Nightshade style of blues is what I call loud, electric, raw blues.
Sounds good.
So it's not your smooth blues with 9 chord changes in a song. The maximum chords that we might have in a song would include the turnaround. Some musicians in the audience tonight would know that a 6-2-5 turnaround that adds 3 chords to otherwise a 3-chord blues progression. That's as far as we'll go with chord changes. But the focus of our songs, aside from the vocals, which I don't consider myself really a vocalist, I mean I'm a guitar player that sings. The focus of our sound is the guitar, is an electric guitar, a Fender Stratocaster played through blackface Fender amps at a high volume so that those amps are screaming. And we don't play what would be considered, heavy metal overdriven guitars, which I like that for its purpose as well. And we don't play acoustic blues with dobros or with lap steels. I love lap steels. What we do is what we've morphed into is a 3-piece blues band focusing on the guitar.
Now, the Night and Day, the song you just gave me, set that up for me.
Well, Night and Day, the name of our album, which is going to be out just before the Blues Festival and just before our performance on the Blues Festival main stage at 5 o'clock on Friday, April 5th, the album is called 7 Blues Alive. And the idea for this album was to quickly capture what we sound like live. That means minimal overdubs, no additional musicians, although some of the songs could use an organ, some of the songs could use in some people's opinion, a harmonica. Snacks Blues Band harmonica singist, vocalist rather. He would add a lot to some of these songs, but that's not what we're about. We're about raw electric blues. I call it transcendent electric blues.
Excellent. Transcendent Blues, Blistering, has been called. This is Night and Day from Danny Delves and the Deadly Nightshades. Okay.
This song, Night and Day, which you just heard, is, and some people who are familiar with a lot of blues songs would recognize the chord changes and recognize the melody of the song. They wouldn't recognize the lyrics, but what this song was directly taken from, more than inspired by, was directly taken from I Ain't Superstitious, that was made famous by Muddy Waters, also known as, his real name is Chester Burnett, I believe, and was written by Willie Dixon. What this song turned into was a completely different song. You can hear I Ain't Superstitious in it from the melody, but the lyrics on it, of course, are about, some guy who's not getting along with his girl, which is what a lot of blues songs are about.
Yeah. All right, and he brought another song for us from the same album.
This one's called Claudia.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, Claudia developed over the last 2 decades, really, from going to open mic nights or jams. It's a song, aside from the 6-2-5 turnaround, it's a song that anybody can play if they're vaguely familiar with the blues style. It's a slow blues in B, with a short one. Musicians know what I'm talking about. But it developed over the years from that. And so I had these lyrics to it about a guy whose girl goes out, comes home, and her clothes are all messed up, and where the heck were you last night? Yeah.
Excellent.
That's what all blues songs are about, either women or not enough, not enough out of life.
All right, let's spin this one up. This is Claudia from Danny Delves and the Deadly Nightshades. Okay, so how can people find out more about your band and the upcoming album?
Well, we are on Facebook, the Deadly Nightshades. If you key that in, please go there and like it. The band consists of myself, guitar and vocals, and more importantly, Neil Carr on drums, who's a veteran drummer. He's played with a number of bands around town, and I've known Neil since high school, from Wolfson High. Played in a number of different bands with him. He's playing in several bands right now, but he is most endeared to this project and this band. And the bass player, I can't say enough about this bass player, Rick Bernheimer. He's a veteran player. He lived in Europe in his childhood. I believe, and Rick should maybe be here and correct me, but I believe his father was in the military and he lived in North Africa for a while. He comes from a varied background in that way, but his musical talent is astounding, and he is a driving force in this band just as much as I am, just as much as Neil is. And Rick and Neil and myself have formed this unit that is, over the last 2 years, the most solid performing unit of the Deadly Nightshades that I've been involved in so far. This is version 3 or 4 of the Deadly Nightshades, because there's been a number of great players who have played with this band over the years, including a couple that I've mentioned, Walter Mingledorf playing keyboards and organ, the late Billy Roden playing drums. Darren Ronan actually played drums with us for either 1 or 2 gigs. He has Ronan School of Music here in town. The different bass players that have played with us, another great bass player that has played with us is Danny Roberts. He goes by Dan Bob or Daniel Roberts. He's played with a number of acts, and he's just a fantastic musician himself. But this unit, myself, Neil, and Rick, I'm the happiest with this unit, and I'm the happiest with everyone's commitment to this band, and rehearsing Seems funny to rehearse 3-chord songs, but yes, it's needed.
Of course.
And with everyone living close by the rehearsal place, it makes it very easy.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, great. Thank you both so much. Look up Danny Delves and the Deadly Nightshades online, and make sure to see him at the Spring in the Blues Festival this first weekend in April. It's Friday, so it's Friday night at 5, you said?
Yeah.
All right, excellent.
3-day festival, 5th,
Excellent.
5th, 6th.
I
and
also
7th.
would like to give props to Jim DeVito at Retrophonic Studio. He caught the essence of what we wanted to do with this record, which was do a quick record and not spend 2 years on it like I've done before, literally. We recorded the basic tracks in one weekend. I went back for minimal overdubs just to add a little bit of rhythm guitar here and there, which you'll hear or you heard in the songs, but just to keep it as close to what we sound like live as possible. And Jim got that right off the bat, and he's a fantastic producer, fantastic engineer, and he's where you need to record. But thank you again for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you both for coming in. All right.